everyone, Wetsuit in the bag today. We're going upstream looking for a new spot to snipe. It's going to be right around down here somewhere.
This spot was completely new to me, so I wasn't sure what I was in for. At first glance, it looked like big rocks and overburden everywhere, but after a quick look around, I spotted a big stretch of exposed bedrock right next to me. This was going to be my starting point. This bedrock was absolutely riddled with cracks and big crevices running right through it. I stuck my pry bar into one to see how solid it was, and sure enough, it started falling apart with barely any pressure. That was exactly what I wanted to see. If I could remove these loose pieces and fan out the lighter material underneath, I was sure there was going to be some gold hiding down below.
So my first couple of pieces.
These pieces were wedged in tight, so it took a fair bit of scratching and prying to work them loose before I could actually snuff them up. It was now time to expose more of the bedrock, put the pry bar to work, and see what else I could uncover. Almost every crevice I opened had pieces of gold. Now they might look small, but being further upstream and closer to the source generally means this gold will be slightly chunkier and carry more weight on the scales at the end of the day. I knew my chances of finding a big nugget here were small, but when you keep finding piece after piece, it definitely keeps the day interesting. One crevice in particular refused to budge, but once I grabbed the big bar, it opened up in no time. After removing all the loose, cracked pieces of bedrock, I was finally onto the true bottom. Down here, there was nowhere left for the gold to hide.
Alright, just going to have a quick break. Not a bad start to the morning. It's all just from breaking bedrock. No loose gold really, but I'm not complaining. I did want to go down to the deeper section, but it's just too deep and I'm having to hold my breath. So yeah, I might have a little go around, try a couple of different places, but if none of them work, I'll come back and start emptying some overburden from the shallower section and start attacking that.
I went exploring, dunking my head underwater to look for any other patches worth working. I even got my detector out to see if there was any easy targets lying around. However, after having a good look around, I realised that where I had started was still the best spot to continue on.
Rightio, so I had a bit of a play around just over there, I play around a bit up there, but no results, no gold. So I'm going to come back to this spot and clear some big rocks and clear some overburden, try to get to some of the bedrock underneath that, see if we can find some more gold.
I wanted to begin attacking the section above, but I knew that once I started, all the rocks in overburden would come down and completely cover the lower patch of bedrock I started on. That would make it a big hassle if I wanted to return there, so before I started throwing rocks, I went over everything to be sure there was no gold left behind. And to my surprise, I'd actually left quite a bit there. After attacking it one last time, I was convinced I'd checked every inch of this bedrock, so I was ready to start on the upper section. Before that though, I just wanted to empty the snuffer and see where I was at.
Not too bad. Hopefully we can get a few more before the day's up.
The gold was looking alright, but there's always room for more. There was still enough time left in the day to start attacking the upper section, so that's what I did. It took a wee while, but after knocking enough boulders down, I cleared myself a new patch to work. I was glad I'd taken the time to clean out the lower section properly, because the gold up here was nowhere near as plentiful. Still, it was worth checking.
I was going to call it a day. I looked at the pan, I thought, oh, there's not really that much gold in there. So I just went downstream for about half an hour and hit just about every piece of bedrock I came across, but only got another 2 or 3 pieces. So yeah, that's me. Alright, let's get out of the suit, head back to camp, put the gold on the scales.
Another day in paradise searching for gold was finished. I had collected a lot of pieces, but most of them were on the smaller side, so I wasn't expecting much. After drying it out and putting it on the scales, I had 0.76 grams of gold, worth around 190 New Zealand dollars. It wasn't an amazing result, but it's hard to complain when I get to work in some of the most beautiful places in New Zealand. Thanks so much for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video, and remember to hit subscribe so you don't miss my next adventure into New Zealand's wilderness, searching for gold.